place outside! Click. Wait. Go.
Months after violent rioters torched squad cars and doused federal agents with pepper spray across Los Angeles, the government finally struck back. In a series of sweeping raids that shocked the entire city, authorities arrested 97 individuals linked to the unrest. The chaos had first erupted in June, when massive crowds blocked freeways and hurled rocks, fireworks, and flammable objects at officers. Several police vehicles were set ablaze as downtown Los Angeles spiraled into full-scale disorder.
And it's not just rocks, it's been bricks as well and other objects, lethal objects that have the potential to kill or really hurt one of our law enforcement officers.
Yes, officers from multiple agencies were brutally attacked as the violence swept through the city, leaving many of them injured. For months afterward, there was total silence. It seemed as if the government had moved on, or simply chosen to forget. But now, that quiet has ended.
Violence in any form, specifically targeted at law enforcement, is unacceptable and illegal. You will be arrested, you will be charged, and you will face serious prison time.
Security, the FBI, and the ATF carried out coordinated operations across Southern California, taking into custody multiple suspects tied to the summer's violence. The effort became one of the most extensive federal crackdowns on civil unrest that Los Angeles has seen in recent years.
We will not tolerate violence against officers who are simply doing their job. I want to be clear, this is not a game.
Take you inside the raids, the evidence, and the investigation that reveal how Los Angeles became the front line in America's latest battle over law, order, and resistance. On the evening of June 8, 2025, the city's core turned into a pressure cooker. What started as small, scattered protests against federal immigration raids rapidly escalated into running street battles between demonstrators and law enforcement.
Several government vehicles were damaged, and a federal contract employee was injured as a rock went through her vehicle window, shattering the glass and striking her.
Erupted downtown near Los Angeles Street. Officers reported rocks, glass bottles, and fireworks being hurled from overpasses. California Highway Patrol units attempting to clear the area also came under assault, with chunks of concrete raining down on their patrol cars. LAPD Chief Jim McDonald described it as one of the most dangerous nights his department had faced in years. "We are overwhelmed. There is no limit to what they're doing to our officers." By sunrise, at least 4 officers had suffered concussions and deep lacerations. Streets were sealed off, and smoke hung in the air where fire crews had extinguished burning trash cans and abandoned scooters. But this was only the beginning. What came next was unlike anything officers had ever witnessed. 2 days later, the unrest exploded again. More than 2,000 protesters flooded the 101 freeway, one of downtown Los Angeles' main arteries, bringing traffic to a complete standstill as they chanted against immigration enforcement. NBC Los Angeles reported that police in full riot gear moved in to contain the crowd, but the demonstrators refused to yield. The chaos escalated when 5 driverless Waymo taxis were vandalized, windows smashed, bodies spray painted, and then set ablaze. The decision to ignite those vehicles was especially dangerous. Robo-taxis run on large lithium-ion battery packs, each storing roughly 90 kilowatt-hours of chemical energy, the equivalent of about 170 pounds, 77 kilograms, of TNT. That energy is divided among hundreds of thin, pouch-style cells filled with flammable electrolyte and separated by polymer layers no thicker than snack bag plastic. When even a single cell is punctured, overheated, or exposed to an incendiary device, it triggers a chain reaction as neighboring cells ignite one after another. Temperatures can soar past 1,000 degrees Celsius, vaporizing large portions of the vehicle and releasing clouds of toxic, lung-scorching gas. The resulting inferno forced firefighters to cordon off entire blocks to prevent further harm.
forced their way through the skirmish line, only to be arrested after crashing into officers. The freeway briefly reopened, but had to be shut down again just hours later when rioters began tossing debris onto the south. Another clash erupted in the normally quiet outskirts of Camarillo. Homeland Security agents were serving a federal search warrant at a farm when a convoy of activists suddenly arrived. According to DHS reports and witness accounts, the activists used their vehicles to box in the exit, preventing federal cars from leaving. As agents attempted to pull back, rioters began pelting them with rocks and burning debris.
We're working with the ATF to seek individuals responsible for igniting a Waymo taxi during that same time frame.
Where protest met federal jurisdiction, Mayor Karen Bass urged calm, insisting that the raids had provoked unnecessary fear. When you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic. Hours later, President Donald Trump ordered 2,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles. Only 300 had arrived. By the following day, as violence flared across multiple districts, by mid-July, what began as protests had left dozens injured and dozens more in custody. The violence of that summer would become the foundation of a federal manhunt, one that would unfold months later under the glare of national attention. For months, it looked like the chaos had burned itself out. But behind closed doors, federal agents were putting together their own plan, the quiet start of one of the biggest anti-riot crackdowns in years. Inside Homeland Security's Los Angeles field office, agents replayed hours of riot footage frame by frame. Though most of the rioters were wearing masks, still they tracked faces, clothing, license plates, anything that could match them to posts, texts, and
Government and private property were vandalized. Los Angeles police declared an unlawful assembly, yet the violence continued.
Stretched far beyond a single night of unrest. Investigators discovered that several of the individuals seen blocking the freeway also appeared days later at the Camaro raid. That pattern pushed the Department of Justice to step in. Bill Asselay, the U.S. Attorney, authorized a series of coordinated operations using federal riot and obstruction statutes to target the agitators identified on video.
Crashing in federal vehicles and debris as the agents left them on a farm raid back in July.
A wave of arrests struck before dawn. Agents from Homeland Security, the FBI, and the ATF swept through South Los Angeles, Ventura County, and sections of the San Fernando Valley. By sunrise, they had already taken 12 suspects into custody.
Filmed on cell phones by local news and other media, throwing rocks, bottles, and objects, including objects on fire from an overpass on Main and Los Angeles Street here in downtown LA.
It was Isaiah Carrillo, captured on video smashing federal car windows with a metal pole during the Camarillo raid. One of the suspects.
We will also, without fear or favor, deliver consequences and bring accountability to those that would assault, impede, or obstruct federal law enforcement officers or destroy government property.
But that's not even the most shocking part. Have you ever wondered how rioters can mobilize and assemble almost instantly? It turns out many of them were part of an organized network.
We were embedded in a sweeping federal sting across Southern California yesterday. The feds arrested 12 people they say engaged in violence during this summer's riots here in Los Angeles.